Raconteurs in spoken realms present Devi Mahatmyam, The Glory of the Goddess, by Sage Markandeya. Translated by Lyndall Verco. Read by Tim Bruce. Chapter 1. That noble king, Surata, had ruled over his prosperous land like a benevolent father until a conspiracy of jealous kings had attacked his kingdom and reduced it to a single city. Even there, he had been undermined by treacherous ministers. He had escaped assassination, pretending he was going hunting. He had ridden away into the forest wilderness until he found refuge in this peaceful ashram of the Rishi Medas. King Surata was so full of grief, he could not rest. One day, as he wandered, unseeing among the gardens and trees, he discovered another man sitting by the path. This richly dressed man looked despondent. The king asked the stranger tenderly, "Who are you, sir? I feel that you have a heavy heart. What brings you here to this quiet place?" The merchant stood up. He bowed and thanked the king for his kind attention as he introduced himself. His name was Samadhi. They sat together and told each other of their losses. The merchant had been cruelly thrown out of his own home by a disloyal wife and greedy sons. "But, O king, I cannot stop worrying about their welfare. I love them all, and fear for their souls that they should have acted so wickedly." The king's voice was gentle and soothing. "It seems strange, don't you feel, that you grieve and worry for these people when they have been so unfeeling towards you?" The merchant responded, "O king, even as you were speaking, the same thought occurred to me. I wonder what binds us so deeply to our fates when we are helpless to alter these situations." "Since our fates have brought us here," the king said, "let us seek the advice of the great Rishi Medas on the matter." They rose together, and with purposeful steps they approached the Rishi's dwelling place. The king and the merchant each bowed respectfully to touch the feet of the ancient sage, Medas. He gestured invitingly. When they were seated, his kind eyes looked inquiringly, and the king spoke for both of them, saying, "Beloved teacher, I just want to know one thing. This problem obsesses my mind, but my intellect cannot resolve it. I am still obsessed about my kingdom and all the business of rulership. I know this is foolish, yet I cannot help behaving like an ignorant person. Why is this, O best of Munis? And here, too, is this man, thrown out by his household as worthless, and yet he still feels such affection towards them. So we are both very unhappy, our minds always drawn by self-centered thoughts to these matters, even though we see it is foolishness. How can we be so deluded, and yet still aware of that? How can we both be so lacking in discrimination that we indulge in this state of despair?" The Rishi said, "The understanding of all creatures is relative to their field of perception. Some are blind by day, and some by night. All are limited. Mankind is certainly not any more aware than the deer, the birds, or others. All creatures are compassionate beings. O king, as you sit mourning, can't you see the birds busy feeding their young, although they themselves are hungry, Just like you, they are bound to their offspring, expecting loyalty in return. This delusion is the power of Mahatmyam, which binds all creatures throughout their lives. This illusion makes them believe their existence is permanent. This power is the great goddess, the Devi, who actually sustains all beings, both those that move and those which do not. She even causes the contemplative sleep of Lord Vishnu at the end of the Golden Age. She, the adorable goddess, is truly called Mahatmyam, the great illusion. By her this whole universe is created. When she is pleased, she blesses mankind and brings them to their final emancipation. She is the knowledge supreme. She is the eternal cause of ultimate liberation, as well as the cause of the bondage of this worldly existence. Why, then, should you be amazed that she can hurl all creatures into delusion? She is the supreme knowledge. She is the sovereign of all the gods. The king said, "Respected sir, who is that Devi you call Mahatmyam? How did she come into being? How was she born? What is her nature? That one who is mightier than the gods, what form does she take? O great sage, tell me everything. I wish to hear everything about her origins." The rishi said, "This whole universe is the embodiment of her. By her it was stretched forth, and she pervades it all. She is eternal. Listen. I will tell you of the many times she manifests to fulfill the desire of the gods. At these times she appears to come into the world, although she is in fact eternal. At the end of the Golden Age, when the adorable, splendid Lord Vishnu reclines on his beloved serpent couch, Shesha, she actually becomes his divine sleep. Therefore, she is called Yoga Nidra. While Lord Vishnu was sleeping, two terrible asuras, the infamous Madhu and Ketaba, hid in his ears and sprang out to kill Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, the father of all, was seated in the lotus of sleeping Vishnu's navel. As he watched those two ferocious asuras, he prayed to Yoga Nidra, she who is highest in the heart of Vishnu. He desired her to awaken Hari and to open his eyes. The glorious Lord Brahma praised her as the creator, sustainer and destroyer, as the ruler of all, as the cause of sleep, and as the unequaled, adored consort of Vishnu. Thus, Lord Brahma said, "O you, who are the invocations Swaha, Swada, and Vashatkara, you are truly the embodiment of the very sacrifice itself. You are the imperishable divine nectar which sustains the gods. Your form is eternally 3 measures and half a measure, continual, uninterrupted, and unchangeable. You are the ancient Savitri hymn, and the supreme mother of the Devas. By you this world is sustained. By you it is protected. By you it is hurled to destruction, and in the end it is consumed by you. You create all that exists. You reside in everything that exists. You protect everything which you have brought into existence. The whole of creation is yours. It is your whim. You are the supreme knowledge, and also the great illusion. You are also the highest contemplation and the complete recollection. You are the awful terror, and the supreme blessing. You are the great Devi, as well as the great Asuri. O you who are the primordial force, creating everything, you manifest yourself as the three gunas. You are the dark night of periodic dissolution. You are the great night of final dissolution, and you are the terrible night of delusion. You are the goddess of auspiciousness. You are the ruler. You are joy and gladness. You are intelligence and the highest consciousness. You are bashfulness, prosperity, contentment, tranquility, and forgiveness. You wield the sword, club, discus, conch, bow and arrows, and the iron mace. You are the exceedingly beautiful and terrifying conqueror. You are gentle and moon-like, as well as the precise annihilator. Terrible and beautiful, cool and moist, cooling like the radiance of the moon, transcending highest and lowest. You are, indeed, the supreme Ishwari. O Devi, how can I praise you? Wherever anything exists, an inseparable part of its soul is that which empowers. That power is yourself. O Devi, how can I praise you? By you, indeed, even he who creates and protects all the worlds, even he who is sovereign of all things that move, even he of the highest nobility, by you has been put to sleep. Even the very forms which Shiva, Vishnu, and myself assume, even these are your creation. Who then can praise you, who are the power of us all? We all entreat you now, O Devi. Use your immense powers. Bewitch these two unassailable asuras, Madhu and Ketaba. Then the rishi said, This is how the dark goddess was praised and invoked by Lord Brahma, to awaken Lord Vishnu, so that he would slay Madhu and Ketaba. Then, in the sight of Lord Brahma of inscrutable birth, the Devi withdrew herself from Lord Vishnu's eyes, nose, and limbs, and emerged from his innermost heart and breast. She arose to stand detached from Janardana, the world protector, as he lay on his ocean serpent. So then Lord Vishnu woke up to see those two audacious asuras standing there. He looked at those two evil, greedy asuras, their eyes all red with anger, as they boldly prepared to attack and kill Lord Brahma. Then, adorable Lord Hari became warlike. He arose, grasped them with his immense arms, and wrestled with them for 1,000 years. Although they were extremely powerful, eventually Madhu and Ketaba became confused. Deluded as they were by Mahatmyam, they said to the long-haired god, Ask a boon from us. To which the Lord replied, There is only one choice to be made. You may both be slain here by me today. They looked around and saw the whole world covered in water, and in their delusion they asked the lotus-eyed god to slay them on a place not covered by water. So be it, said the Lord who wields the conch, the discus, and the mace. Then he held both of them on his hip and cut off their heads with his discus. This is what happened when she, who is the self-created cause of everything, arose as she was praised and invoked by Lord Brahma. Listen, I will tell you more of her achievements.